Hello, friends, and welcome to another exciting episode of Snap Judgments. This is not Roy Rogers, but instead Glazer. We are here today with the great Gunny T, who is playing the role of me today. How you doing, Gunny?
I am doing fantastic. I don't have as great of a beard as you do, but I do have awesome glasses, just like you.
Oh, so I got this thing that's disgusting that I really need to trim, and it's now a giant white hair. No one can see what we're talking about on the podcast, right? But I have like a piece of my beard that's like outgrown for no fucking reason, and it's like silver. And like either go all silver or don't. It's a thing.
I don't know. The
Getting
salt
old,
and
man.
pepper can look really, really good.
I'm not distinguished enough. I don't have that in me. So, Gunny, in honor of Roy, since I am today being the Roy, my friend, the cat just keeps crying. I don't understand why. How's the
We can't
weather?
hear it.
I know. It's a wonderful mic. It's just
The
like he's not quiet. He's like, "Rawr," like
yeah.
very upset. So,
The weather it was really windy this week, but today was beautiful. One of those great spring days where it's just sunny, not a cloud in the sky, and it's like great temperature to be outside. And I have a 3/4 sleeve shirt on with some light pants. Like, wonderful. I did some grilling. It was awesome. My kids were playing in the water outside. Oh, hold on. This is hilarious, right? So my kids are playing in the water outside. My daughter's young. So sometimes she gets too excited and like doesn't make it inside to go to the
oh
bathroom.
no.
So she comes up, she's like, Daddy, I tinkled a little bit. I'm like, you're covered in water. Just go rinse it off. So that's what we did. Just hosed her down.
That's amazing. Yeah, my son thankfully is done peeing himself and hopefully done pooping himself, although you never know. Is anyone
I don't
ever
think you're
really
ever
done pooping?
no, nobody's ever really done.
Yeah,
You just kind of get to the age where you don't trust, what's coming out of your body anymore.
So, Splat, our first
Hello.
guest, the wonderful Splat, creator of theme song, creator of a 1 million brilliant decks. Splat, where can people find your shit? Yeah, pro
Is
transitions.
this going to be a poop joke podcast? Oh my god.
I mean, mainly just on Twitch at twitch.tv/Splaticus when I'm streaming. My schedule's fairly inconsistent. Some weeks I'll stream 3 or 4 days. Some weeks I won't stream at all, depending on how the rest of work and life is going. But it's fun. Normally I stream fairly late West Coast time after my kids are in bed. And be glad to have anyone out that wants to come hang out on my stream.
Make sure you
You
ring
do
that
other things in
notification.
the community though as well, correct?
Sorry, what?
You do other things in the community as well besides streaming?
I mean, I make bad decks.
That sometimes are insane.
Medium decks, and then like the rare, hey, this deck is actually pretty fun. I made the song for the theme song for Blazer. Well, I press buttons. And no, I think I'm generally in a lot of Twitch chats during the day. I think I've talked to most people in most channels. If they recognize me, hi everybody.
Awesome. Please make sure you ring that notification bell on Splat, because if he's going to be inconsistent, you're just going to have to be ready, because you don't want to miss his streams. The decks are insane and really, really fun. If you would like to see some top of the ladder Marvel Snap play, unfortunately, it's just going to be Silver Surfer like 90% of the time. But our other guest is Heart of the Cards. Heart, how you doing?
I'm doing good. Yeah, you guys can find me at twitch.tv, Heart of the Cards.
You missed
I
a word.
mostly play...
Your Heart of the Cards
Heart
Snap,
of the Cards
sir.
Snap.
There you go.
I mostly play Silver Surfer. I'm kind of a one-trick. I think I'm going to start playing a bit of Victoria Han. I just got her, and I'm really liking her. Other than that, yeah, I play top ladder. I try to really like... I really like tuning decks specifically.
Mhm.
So, like, a lot of time you'll see, like, by week, I'm changing, like, 1 or 2 cards because, like, some meta shift is happening. And otherwise, that's about it.
So Hart is one of the people I go to regularly for top player thoughts, as is Splat. Hart also has helped on the top 10 meta decks, which you can find every Friday on the channel. So just a really, really invaluable community member. Make sure you're following Heart of the Cards Snap. If you would like to engage with us, you can find us on youtube.com/@SnapJudgmentsPod. I can't make the pod go away. I tried to. It's just at SnapJudgeGlazer, where every single day, usually about 9 videos a week, go live on the YouTube, and that's not counting shorts and lives. There is also live on Twitch almost every day, including Twitch at twitch.tv/PulseGlazer, including where we record this very podcast live. We have a Patreon at patreon.com/snapjudgments, where I use every bit of that money to put it back into the community. But Gunny, who almost never has anything to advertise, does have something wonderful and important to tell us about now. Mr. T?
Yes, absolutely. So by the time you're hearing this, we'll be finishing up our registration for the Snap Judgments League Season 6. You heard that right. We're going on to Season 6 starting April 21st. It is a really awesome thing. If you are a patron or considering being a patron for Glazer and all of his amazing content that he produces, then it is included with your Patreon tier there. It's really awesome. You'll participate in 1 game a week, playing against varied players from around the world. It's a fantastic way to meet other players and just experience the game in a very unique and new way. After that, we'll move on to a top 8 for your pool of players, and then it'll eventually be a top 8 of all of the players put together for $500 in prizes. We're actually sponsored this season by TopDeck.gg, which is the tournament software I've used since day one with Marvel Snap, and run 132 Marvel Snap tournaments now using TopDeck.gg. So really thank you to TopDeck for all the support they've given us, and now even supporting the tournaments that we're doing here. So please join. It's a really great time, and I'd love to see you there. If you have any questions, down in the description for the YouTube video will be a link to the Discord. Just hop into the Discord and ask. All of our players know where to direct people from, and it's really quite easy to do once you're set up into it.
Hey, Splat, you were in the last one, right?
Yes.
How'd you do? How was it?
It was good. I won my pod and made it to the top 8, I think is what it was. It was fun. It's you play 1 game a week. Scheduling is easy. Had a blast.
Was that the first one you had entered, Splat?
That was the first one I had entered, yeah.
What did you think
I lost
about
my very first match.
What do you think about meeting players and just like getting to chat with somebody for a week?
I think most of the people I played against were like not in the US even. Like a lot of people in Europe, or I think one person I played was in Australia, which was Australia was funny because trying to figure out, we're playing on Saturday. No, actually that's Friday.
Yep. Hammer time.
I had the time right, but the day wrong on the conversion, and I was like, "Oh no, I'm busy on Saturday." It's like, "Oh no, it's Friday. This is easy." It was nice to talk to everybody, and a lot of the people that I played against, I see on ladder regularly too, and recognize them. So I would recommend signing up to everyone that's watching.
This is also your chance to beat me. I'll be joining this one and losing myself some games because after the first one, I sort of play whatever like the most fun deck is instead of whatever the best deck is. So I will be playing a bunch of probably Splat decks instead of Heart of the Cards decks. That's how we're gonna describe that difference. All right. Let us talk about our card, Infinity Ultron. I'm going to take us through the card, including the stones quickly. Infinity Ultron is a 5/6 on reveal. Add 2 of his stones to your hand. And then he has 6 stones, as you do for Infinity Stones. The space is a 3/4. Move the lowest power enemy card here to Infinity Ultron. That one's complete poopy. Ultron Reality, add a drone here, set its power to Infinity Ultron. Good, but space consuming. Ultron Time, on reveal, put a card from your hand here. I guess it's fine. Ultron Mind, ongoing, your unreveal abilities happen twice. Okay. Ultron Power, double Infinity Ultron's power. That's the only, like, unequivocally good one, usually. And Ultron Soul, on reveal, for each full location, give a card there, plus 2 power. That is our Infinity Ultron. Let's kick it off with Heart. What do you think of this card?
Well, this card for me was an absolute letdown. Like, it felt so bad, like, I don't know how to describe it. Like, if you get reality, mind, and power, you feel like you have something strong, and you're like, okay, it was worth playing a 5/6, at least in the decks I was playing. But then, like, space, time, especially if you get time with space or soulstone, now you have soulstone in your hand, and it could pull soulstone, so it's even worse time stone. But yeah, it was massive disappointment because I felt like this card had potential, but right now it feels super high rolly. Where it's like you get the good stones, you win. You get the bad stones, you threw the game because you put a 5/6 on board.
What?
I am kind of in the same boat as Heart of the Cards. Like I tried to do so much stuff that I thought would be interesting and maybe good with Infinity Ultron, and it all ended up being either really hard to pull off or also not good even when it got pulled off. Like there's the high roll of, oh, okay, I got the Mind Stone power combo, and now my Infinity Ultron's 524. We didn't have a Quinjet, and
But then you just lose another lane.
we're going that right. Then you lose another lane unless you also had like a Sage to drop, right? And that's best case scenario. Worst case scenario sucks. um, the adding a drone and pulling a card feels like I was talking with I forget who I was talking with recently about this, that ever since Kate came out, board space and Snap has been so more full. Like there's not as much room to maneuver because you got Kate, you got Sam Wilson, Agamotto's kind of the one weird, like, not that thing where you can play cards that don't take up space. But I think just in general, compared to like 6 months, a year ago, there's so much less space to do stuff. And suddenly it's like, oh, to do anything with these cards, I need to be in turn 6 with room, and I just don't have it, which makes it really tough to use.
Gunny?
I think what I have found with this card, it has a cost problem, right? I think it needs to be played on turn 4. So it either needs to get a cost change to be a 4, which sounds ridiculous, kind of, right? Or it needs to come down early with some kind of cheat, be that Luna Snow or some other way, shape, or form. But even then, if I'm cheating on mana, then I probably want to be doing other things besides Infinity Ultron anyways, especially with the randomness of it, right? So I think that's where it really comes down to, is the card is too random to want to cheat into. And then if I'm cheating, I'd rather just be doing stronger things.
It's got so many problems, it's absurd. 4 of the stones really require board space. There's not board space for that kind of thing in Marvel Snap. Squirrels happen, and the card is just completely dead. It's just too little power for a 5-drop. You need a card like Luna to play it. I'm curious if we're doing it wrong, by the way, and if Luna should be Penny Parker, but I don't really want to play Penny Parker for Infinity Ultron. Like, at that point, I'm running Wiccan and I'm running Sarah, right? Like, this is just so much weaker than those cards that, like, I don't get what I'm supposed to be getting from this. I don't get what I'm doing. The stones are both weak and expensive. And while board space has become really, really hard to come by, so is hand space. I'm filling up my hand more than ever before. And like the amount of times where I'm just like, oh, I could play Infinity Ultron and then not draw. And then I'll have these 2 stones. I don't want that. I need cards. This card sucks.
I think the most powerful plays I've seen with Infinity Ultron is when the deck doesn't play Infinity Ultron. It's just like a decent deck without it. Or use it to like fill up your hand so you could then use Kahori or something like that.
The cat has decided to cry in front of my child's room, which has now woken him up, because of course it has. He's having a conversation with the cat. Sorry. Yeah, this card is junk. Any follow-ups, Splatterheart?
Well, the card has, to me, a clear identity problem. Like you said, like some of the cards want to be played late, like last turns. You're never to play Soulstone on 5. But then like Mind Stone, you love playing it on 5, you hate playing it on 6. And then there's the whole board space where it's like, yeah, the Time Stone and Reality Stone in theory help Soulstone, but Soulstone is so bad it's not even worth helping it. And then I don't even know, Space Stone like synergizes to me with like nothing in the deck, which I don't even get why the card's there.
Fair. Splat?
Yeah, I'm on to you. This card sucks. Even like, especially if you put it up against other like known quantity 5-drops. It's like, oh, I could play this and hope I get the cards I want, the stones I want, and I have the hand space and there's a board space, or I could play Ajax and then I have my, and and
Oh.
the Ajax is going to be bigger than the doubled Infinity Ultron.
Is there a possibility what we're supposed to do with this is Doctor Strange next week, and that's why we hate it so much?
What's I don't know, Doctor Strange next week, actually.
The Doctor Strange next week is a 2/2. It merges with a created card. So like anything that's created anywhere, but anything but the original 12 in your deck, once you play it, it'll merge with it. It'll keep that card's power, because that's what merging does, but it also gets +2 power on top of that.
I don't think so.
Me neither,
I'm
but
adult.
like it's my only hope, because otherwise I don't know what the hell they're thinking.
I mean,
Yeah, I
you're
guess you
only
get the board space,
upgrading.
but
You're only upgrading 2 cards.
Yeah.
I mean, I guess you're upgrading all of them because you get the 2 power on top of it. But I don't know. It doesn't sound good.
Well, it lets you run it with like Penny and Kate. Sucks with Luna, but you could run it with Luna. I guess it means you can't run with Luna because it'll eat it before you get the energy. I don't know. I got nothing. This card needs a buff real bad. This is the worst card of the month. This is Captain Carter is the second worst, and then I think Kahori and Goliath have been fine. Yeah.
I don't know if I would rate them together. I think Goliath is a home run.
I think Goliath is a double, and I think Kahori is probably a double.
I think
Goliath's
Goliath is
way
probably
better
the
than
best
Kahori.
card we got in like 2 months.
Really? Wait, I don't remember last month anymore.
Last month, like the best card was like I don't even know, like Conchu maybe.
Yeah, I guess last
Not
month.
including the season pass.
Yes. Splat?
I agree. Goliath's the best. I put Carter above Kahori because I think he could do cool. Let me. I like Carter more than Kahori because I think she's more interesting.
Okay.
I think you do more interesting stuff with her. I don't know if I'd say stronger, but I like her more.
So, who is it? Chamo, I believe it's Chamo, has a Wiccan Victoria hand list that does really good stuff with Kahori. Like, really good stuff with Kahori. That, plus the Thanos. I think Kahori is just a good card. I don't think Kahori is a home run. I think it's just a good card. Like, it's a card you're happy to own and put in things. It will not be one of the cards we talk about as we get to our main topic of the day, however, which is going to be the Series 4 and 5 Buyer's Guide. I have put together 48... Thank you, Toxie. I believe that was Toxie. Oh, Parrot rated. Hi, I'm Fit Parrot. Okay, sorry about that. I put together 48 cards. These are the 48 cards that we are going to do a buyer's guide for. At the end of the day, these 48 cards will be we'll try and come up with 10, but if we end up with 12, whatever. And we're going to try and rank them in terms of what we should buy. It's possible I missed a card. If anyone sees a card I missed, feel free. I'm going to read through these cards very quickly. And from there, we're just going to start basically calling out cards that we think might end up on the list as in our top 10. Remember that cost will matter because this is meant to be a guide for snap packs. All of a sudden, people are going to have the opportunity when their keys turn over to just turn cards into, turn tokens into cards. What card should you be looking to buy? Cool. Makes sense for everybody?
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. So the cards are Agamotto, Agent Venom, Ajax, Alive, Arishem, Aranya, Blink, Bullseye, Cannonball, Copycat, Cassandra Nova, Dark Hawk, Frigga, Galacta, King Eitri, Goliath, Gorgon, Gore, Kate Bishop, Gwenpool, High Evolutionary, Hope Summer, apparently I don't know how to spell, Hydra Bob, Iron Patriot, Luffy, Legion, Malekith, Luna, Madam Web, Mockingbird, Misery, Moonstone, Nico, Ravonna, Red Guardian, Rockin' Groot, Sage, Sam Wilson, Scorn, Scream, Thanos, Toxin, Wiccan, Victoria Hand, X-23, Starbrand, Scar, and Anti-Venom. Because I realized I forgot Anti-Venom at the end. Cool. Let's kick it off with Splat. Splat, can you nominate a card that you would consider for us to buy? We're just going to go through everybody.
That we should absolutely buy.
That we should strongly consider buying. Mm-hmm.
Let's go with Galacta.
Galacta makes sense to me. Is there a card you would like to eliminate?
Quickly reading.
Take your time.
There's a lot of good cards on this list.
Yeah,
There are a lot of cards in this list. Now, all right, hold on. Look, can we set the basis for this? I'm guessing we're going from a perspective of players who are like pretty, like they don't have a vast collection, right? They're trying to build a collection.
They're trying to build a collection and get toward whatever very good deck they would like to.
Okay.
I would eliminate.
Want me to come back to you?
This is come back to me. This is harder than I
All right.
thought it would be.
Yeah, right. Heart of the cards. Fire.
I was going to nominate Galacta as a surfer main, obviously.
Yeah.
Other than that, though, I think Victoria Hand I'll nominate. I've been
Okay.
really liking her specifically, and we can eliminate King E3. Let's be honest.
I hear it. So we have Victoria Hand added. Just interrupt whenever you are ready. Splat for your elimination. It is Gunny T's turn.
I'm gonna die on this hill. I think Thanos. I think Thanos is a must-own card for every new snapper. It's very good in a collection.
Okay.
And then we're gonna rate these afterwards, right?
Yeah,
Like
we're gonna
in
rank
order?
them. Yeah, we're
okay.
ranking them.
I'll argue my point there. And then for getting rid of a card, I think I could get rid of maybe Misery off of this. I think Misery is a decent card, but they're better cards.
Would anyone like to try and save Misery, or be okay with Misery going?
Actually, no, I'll pull back. I'll say Starbrand. Starbrand's an easy exclusion for me.
All right.
I know it's in a really high ranked deck, but I think better cards.
If anyone would like to save any card, let me know. Go ahead.
Probably would have tried to save Misery, but I'm going to eliminate Copycat, which I think is a good card, but I don't think any deck needs Copycat.
Good call.
I'll try to save Copycat.
You can save Copycat for now. Copycat stays. I'm going to put a little line next to Copycat here.
Almost every month, Copycat like top 3 in my deck in win rate.
Fair. All right, so I'm going to add Scream because I don't know why we waited that long to get Scream. And I'm going to make Scream. I'm going to make an elimination that's a little strange here. My elimination is actually going to be Aranya and Madam Web, because if you want those cards, save your tokens. At the end of the month, don't update. When it switches over, use your keys for those 2 cards.
That's fair.
Do we want a snake draft or just go back to Splat? Let's go back to Splat.
Okay. I'm going to nominate Tate, because she's a staple in a bunch of decks.
Kate Bishop. Let me find her. There she is.
And I'm going to eliminate. I was just staring at it, and then I lost it. Agent Venom.
Yeah, that makes sense. He's only in one deck, right? Heart?
Yes.
Surprised it took this long, but I'm going to nominate the man that never gets nerfed. Well, he got nerfed once, but like was the most softball nerf. The 2/8 himself, Sam Wilson.
Okay.
Whoa,
Sam Wilson.
You're adding him in.
Adding. And who's the eliminator?
High Evo. High Evo's like good for new players, but like High Evo, like
he gets outpowered.
I feel like he's been power crept.
High Evo's
so
not there
much
anymore. High Evo used to be like a very strong card to get early.
Mm-hmm. All right, Sam Wilson has made it. Gunny, you're up.
My next card, I think, will be. I should have been thinking about this instead of just randomly looking at nothing. All right, I'm gonna say Airsham. I know that's an odd pick there, but again, for somebody who's like low collection level, you can pretty much play anything you want with Airsham, and it's a fun card. Like, it's a really cool card to have in your collection. And if I'm going with that, I think I'm gonna eliminate Malekith. No, you know what? I'm gonna go Laffy. I'm eliminating Laffy because I think you can play Toxic without Laffy.
Okay. I want to save Laffy. He's like one of my favorite cards right now.
Yeah, I think Laffy's incredibly strong.
I also hate playing against Laffy, so that's saying a lot.
I think it's really good, but my argument is that you can definitely play Toxic without it. And like, what else are we eliminating? We've got to eliminate cards.
Yeah,
that's true.
I'm gonna offer us a few eliminations. Can we chalk Agamotto?
Yeah, yes. I'm fine with that.
I was actually considering Agamotto myself.
Can we chalk Darkhawk?
Yes, I was thinking that myself.
Yeah.
All right. Does anyone want
to have fallen?
Does anyone want to argue for X-23? The argument for cutting her is they just gave her to everyone.
I don't think you can cut it.
But you have it for free. They gave it to you.
Yeah, that's a bad argument. It's a bad argument, I think. Because it's just assuming people have it, right? And I think it's so important to the game if you want to play Destroy. Like, if you don't play
Destroy, she's like
Yeah,
one of the core cards.
Okay.
Well,
Okay.
I think you can cut Hydro Bulb.
I can see
that's a
that.
good call.
You can cut
That's,
Hydro Bulb.
that's a surprise. Since not a surprise
If we're
now,
just, can we just start cutting cards? Is that like a good place to start from?
Sure.
Can we cut Malekith?
Yes. I like Malekith,
I'm
but
fine
it
with
can just
that.
go. Okay. So can we cut Toxin?
Yeah, I think so. One deck,
Yeah.
bounce.
Bounce move, but yeah.
And again,
Alright,
that's the
if
same
you're playing
argument
any
you can
type of
make.
bounce, you
All
need
right, hold on.
Toxin,
That's the
but
same
probably
argument you
not.
make for Destroy. I think my argument against X23 coming out though versus Toxin is that Destroy is like one of the original decks you kind of get into.
Well, Bounce has like 3 or 4 other high series cards, and Destroy has 0 other high series cards.
Yeah,
so.
right. So I think X23 is just such a good pickup for an early collection. Do we want to go ahead and do we already get rid of Gorgon?
Yeah, I don't know if we want to get rid of Gorgon.
I love Gorgon.
I don't think Gorgon's going to be something that you have to have if we're making a list
No,
of
but he's
10
a really good
best
card.
cards to pick up.
All right, so the argument for Gorgon, and I'm going to make this argument now, is you can get Gorgon and another card for the same cost as you could get. Like, okay, so I want Hope Summers, or I want Gorgon and Ravonna. It's not easy anymore, right?
I just think it's such a hard tech card to say that you want to buy. There's a lot of really good Series 4 cards.
No, there's not.
I don't know if I'm targeting Gorgon.
Name me the good Series 4 cards. We're looking at them.
Yeah, I mean, X23 is one of them.
Sure.
Like you just mentioned, Hope Summers.
Hope is Series 5.
Is it?
Yes.
Okay.
Right?
How do we feel about current Scar?
Scar should go. Yeah, when Scar should 1,000% go.
I'm gonna
gonna
throw
actually
odd one out here.
Go to share this
I
tab
think
instead. Give me
Rocket
1
and
second.
Groot should go.
I could see. So if Rock and Groot goes, Copycat goes.
Yeah, I also think Copycat's a bit better than Rocket and Groot right
I
now.
think that brings up an impressive argument, right? Because I imagine Heart, you're saying Rocket and Groot can go because it's replaceable, correct?
It's not only replaceable, it's a card that doesn't win you the game, where Copycat wins you the game sometimes. Rocket and Groot is just points now, and his points have been reduced to the point where it's about equal.
I think you can make the same argument for Rocket and Groot winning you the game some of the times. Sometimes you have closed off locations. Like I think it just brings up an interesting argument that like there are other threes that you can play, especially even in your Series 3 pool. So if we're trying to tell players what they should target, I feel like we should be telling players to target things that are not going to be replaceable very easily. Because these are cards obviously they can pick up later when they're looking at upgrading their decks.
Yeah, one of my thoughts of Rocket and Groot 2 is there's a lot of 3-drops that put up points but also do like something on the side. Red Guardian puts up points, he also eliminates like a lot of effects. Cassandra Nova puts up points, she also just like dumpsters on like 3 different decks for no reason.
All right.
Yeah.
So let's put all the threes together, and then we can have like a nice little 3 conversation. Because my argument, I think, is going to be that they should all go. All of the good threes should probably just get eliminated. Am I forgetting somebody? Where's Rocket and Groot? Red Guardian.
Red Guardian.
I can see Red Guardian staying.
Yeah, if I'm going to make an argument for someone, it'll be Red Guardian over everyone else.
I mean, it's just so easy to like replace. So easy
that
to
works for me.
replace. Like,
is the argument that
cards.
Like so many threes are interchangeable for different reasons that needing a specific one doesn't make a lot of sense?
Yep, Red Guardian's the only one you could ever really say you need.
And that's fair.
Juggernaut can be any of these.
Yeah.
Besides Luna. Luna,
I forgot to put Gladiator on here. All right, so Red Guardian is going to go on our Survivor list so far. And we just got rid of like 6 great cards in a row, so.
We sure did.
All right. I'm going to argue that we should at least strongly consider Ravonna and Cannonball.
To eliminate?
No, to add to the list.
Oh.
They're half price. Half price has to matter if we're spending tokens.
I feel like this list should almost
pools or series the cards are in. I do that. Like I think both Cannonball and Ravonna have tons of use and are strong.
Mm-hmm. And they're cheap.
And they're cheap. That's value.
Yeah.
To me, I want to add Sage. Sage is
absolutely.
really good right now.
I mean, we also have to add Gore, right? Because negative is so cheap to get into.
Gore is also just a good card.
Gore is a card. My only argument against Gore is that like there's a lot of good strong sixes.
Not for negative.
You can run past. You can run Zola.
I guess that's fair. I think that's just like a sincerely worse version of that list, though. So we're
Sure.
adding Sage. Go ahead.
I think you could definitely eliminate Eliath.
Agreed. How the mighty have fallen. Can we cut Iron Patriot, honestly? Like, he's what, our 6th 2 on the list? We just don't need him.
No, yeah, we can get rid of him.
I think
This
so.
is the death of Bob and Iron Patriot.
Yeah.
The death of the old cards.
Well, that's one cost, one power. If they matter.
Well, it's
especially one cost.
Yes, but it might have died anyway because, like, if you're choosing a card, you shouldn't choose it over Scream, and I don't think you should necessarily have chosen over like Ravonna for half the cost or Sam Wilson, right? So like now maybe it goes above Kate, but like I'd probably rather have Kate because Kate opens up other options, other decks. It doesn't go over Victoria Hand because Victoria Hand is a deck. Like a thing that is a deck has extra value in this conversation.
I think Iron Patriot also shifted a lot of the cards. Like, one of the major reasons I feel Rocket and Groot was so good for so long, because not only did it help your Iron Patriot, it also got free value for their Iron Patriot.
True.
Can we get rid of Gwenpool?
Yes. I think we can get rid of this whole pile except maybe Frigga.
I like Goliath. I don't know if he's top 12, though.
I mean,
How
is there
important
any
is Goliath?
chance that it's going to go over Sam Wilson? Because it has to like be as good as the other 2s that are here. It's Sam
If you drop
Victoria
Goliath-
Hand.
If you drop
Personally,
Goliath,
I'm
you're
high on
dropping-
Goliath because, like, I normally see him like a 2/8, 2/10, which is like within range of like Sam Wilson and all them. But
Sure,
it's a
but
bit more narrow.
That's with Sam. If you don't have Sam, can you run him? If you don't have
Yeah.
Thanos, can you run him? Right?
Yeah,
like
that's
now
true.
he's just kind of a shit card.
That's true.
So
I think in that pool we can also eliminate Moonstone then.
I'm less sure about it.
I think we can eliminate Scorn. Like Scorn is good for discard, but you can totally run the meta discard decks without Scorn right now.
Yeah, I think they're worse, but that's fine by me. Okay. Can we chuck Antivenom as much as I like Antivenom?
I think you can choke him.
Yeah.
Like, I love Antivenom, but he's fallen off a fair amount. All right, big one. I think we can cut Bullseye. You need like 3 other high series cards to make Bullseye not a bad card.
That's true.
Also, I
Yeah,
think
You play discard.
the
without it.
deck has been a bit overrated.
Yeah, I think it's fallen off. It's no longer even, spoiler alert for tomorrow again, in my top 10 for the tier list tomorrow.
I think we can cut Blink.
Yeah, I would assume so. It hurt not to put Red Wing on this, by the way. I love me some Red Wing.
I think honestly we can cut.
I think Blink is fun and you can do lots of stuff with Blink.
Yeah, but
Like,
it's not going to get over the cards we have, right? It's a tier below. How do I make you not be super small and annoying? No. Thanks. Thing.
Yeah, that's probably true.
Okay, so Blink
I think
Ajax
we
can
cut-
go. Ajax is the most expensive fucking deck in the game.
Is it? Yeah, I guess you're right.
They run Malekith, they run like 18 Series 5 cards. They're so expensive. You shouldn't be going for that right away.
And I think another point against Ajax is that the cards that go with it are almost exclusively Ajax decks, right? Like, where else are you running Man-Thing?
Well, I don't think you run Man-Thing anymore as a rule. I think Laufey has basically taken Man-Thing's cake.
Sure, I got that. But I mean, like, where else do you run Laufey?
I run him in a bunch of decks. Just
Yes. I was about to say that.
he's like a 4/13 on 6.
Yeah.
I think Ajax can go just because I feel like these hyper-specific cards kind of have to be like very upfront in the meta to be like, oh yeah, go after it. Where Ajax kind of is like in between right now.
I think on that note, you can probably. I would like to put Mockingbird on the list. I think its ability to be played with Zoo
could
or
see that.
Thanos or
Yeah.
other things, like I think Mockingbird's pretty good.
I could see that. We're at 14, so
We'll cut some.
let's try and get rid of a couple more. Legion can go, yeah.
Legion can go. Gosh, I love
Yeah.
Legion though.
I love him too, but I think he
So-
can
Yeah, I love
go in
Legion.
top 10.
You're right.
So
There's so
we
many
got,
other replacements.
you've got to have
If
an important
Legion can
conversation.
go, I think Nico can go.
That's what I was saying before. And now looking at the list, I think this entire list can go.
Wiccan can't go.
I know you want Laufey.
Wiccan.
No,
I
I
think
think this if we're limiting it, I think we could fit the whole list. But I'm down with keeping Wiccan. I think Wiccan.
I
Wicked.
think maybe there's an argument for Frigga too. Frigga goes into a lot
Mhm.
of decks since he's not really replaceable in any of those decks.
Yeah, Victoria Hand, move, bounce,
Bullseye.
bullseye. Like if you don't have
Yeah.
Frigga, you're just cutting yourself out of a lot of the meta. I think Frigga has to be there.
Yeah.
All right, so Frigga is our last card, and then we are at 15. I'm fine just ranking these 15 and calling this our list, just for the record.
No, we're gonna cut it down
Why?
because it's
10-ish.
fun.
Okay.
It's an itch to begin with, guy.
Yeah, whenever
all
we
right,
get
fine.
to
Plan
like
ahead.
12 and we're like, oh my god, I can't cut anything else.
Fine. Then
All right,
if I'm
can we
cutting
talk
one
about-
card, I'm cutting Sage.
All right, hold on. Let's start with this. Let's start with the conversation being like, what is the cheapest deck we can get into? Let's talk about like the
Scream.
number one.
Scream.
Green.
Okay, so if Scream's the cheapest deck we can get into, then Scream should be the number one card.
Does that anyone want to counter argue that?
I think Sam Wilson just like opens up so many decks. Sam Wilson's also probably the best card in Scream.
I mean, Scream is the best card in Scream. But like you can play a Scream deck without Sam Wilson.
Yeah, but he does so much in that deck.
Let's start with this. Let's start with the decks that we make,
All right, here.
and then
Ready?
if we have like we
Wait,
have cards
I
like
think
Sam
I
Wilson.
think there's a fairly clear top three. Those are the top three. Yes.
I don't think Galacta's top 3.
Galacta alone gives you access to Surfer.
I
She gives
think
you access to Surfer and like 15 mid-range decks.
honestly, I'm not that high on Thanos. I think Mockingbird is notably better than Thanos, even in his list. Where it's like, yeah, you can play Thanos without Mockingbird, but like if you're not playing it with Mockingbird, it's like a major step down.
I just don't know what you're doing with Thanos without multiple other Series 5 cards. Every Thanos deck has like 4 or 5 Series 5 cards.
Yeah, it's
Well,
like
I guess
Goliath right
here's
now,
my
and
argument.
Mockingbird.
Here's my argument against that. Do you think about early series players, someone who's building their collection? Can they build a Thanos deck that will beat other early collection players without
You
all
don't
those
get
high
you don't
series
get paired
cards?
with early collection players. That's not how it works. You get paired with your MMR. You're going to be playing people that have better collections. So you have to be able to compete in the metagame.
I thought you got paired against people who were like similar level to you.
MMR, not collection level.
Okay. I'll drop
There's
Thanos then.
got to be some early matchmaking with collection level though, because they have the locations that only go to people with lower collection levels.
The what?
Are there some locations that only show up for low collection level games?
I think only Series 1 and 2. Once you're in Series 3, I think you're just in Series 3.
Okay.
But like your MMR is just because of the number of games going to be low enough that you're not immediately going to run into people. By the time you're like a quarter to halfway through, you're just in.
Especially with the new collection system, it might be like a month before someone can be running a full meta list. Where like let's say a full meta list has like 3 Series 5, 4 Series 5.
All right, here's what we're going to do. We're going to try and get down to 12. Everyone's going to pick 3 cards they think should be cut from this list. I know what my 3 are, so I can go first if you would like if you would like me to. I would go Thanos, Kate Bishop, and Sage. Those would be the 3 I would cut. Anyone want to go next? Might be Gore over Sage.
I was gonna say Gore, Red Guardian, Gasp, and Mockingbird.
Okay. All right.
I have mine Thanos, Gore, and Cannonball are my 3.
Okay.
Yeah.
Even with the half price on Cannonball, huh?
I'm not a
Cannonball's
fan of
too
him.
good.
Gunny?
I don't know. I got nothing.
Gore has shown up on 3 lists. Gore is gone. Did anything else show up on more than one and I missed it?
I think
Oh,
Thanos showed
Thanos.
up on 2
Thanos.
or
Yeah.
3. I don't know.
Splat, do you have strong feelings for saving Thanos?
I don't have strong feelings about Thanos.
All right. Sorry, Gunny.
I just think it's a good card. Gotcha.
Me too. The last. All right. So we are down to, and I think the cards that were mentioned are Kate Sage, Mockingbird. Where's
Cannonball.
Mockingbird? Mockingbird Cannonball.
Wait, now we have 2 black Mockingbirds.
I'll delete it. Yeah. Oh, damn it. Kate. There we go. So let's eliminate. I'm missing a card, aren't I? I've got a card
but it
on
doesn't
here
matter.
twice. Cannonball.
It's eliminated now.
Cannonball. So we got to eliminate one card, and then I'm happy to do a 12. What's our last elimination?
Last elimination, I think, can.
It's between Kate, Cannonball, Sage, and Mockingbird. Everyone.
I did say I said Red Guardian, but no one's gonna agree with me on that.
Yeah, no, I'm not going to. Sorry. You're on your own. Anyone else want to agree, Red Guardian?
No.
Let's see. I think if I had to choose out of this list, it'd be Sage. I think Cannonball can be a good winning card.
I think Clog is just cheap to get into. Like, what do you need that's high series to make Clog work? Cannonball.
You
I
know,
want-
it's half price.
I want to go Mockingbird out of these 4.
Splat?
I'd say Mockingbird.
So we got 2 Mockingbirds and 2 Sages as our eliminators, which means we need a tiebreaker between Cannonball and Sage.
Which means we drop them both.
And go to 11? Oh, I can see that.
Yeah.
Sorry, Mockingbird and Sage. So Sage is gone, Mockingbird is gone, but now I want to get to 10. I don't want to do a top 11.
Okay. And I think
But it goes to
Frigate
11.
goes. It's either Frigate or
What?
Wicked.
I think
That's a bummer about
Whoa, what
Mockingbird
the hell?
and Sage.
that was AI that just started yelling at me on my phone. I don't know why, but AI was like, that's a bummer about Mockingbird and Sage. Thanks.
It was really mad at those
It didn't
those
like that.
eliminations.
All right.
I think if I had to choose out
I
of
think it's Kate.
this list,
We've got Scream, Sam, Victoria, Hand. Are we really doing this list with 4 2-drops?
I can see that.
I can see that. I can see that.
I can see cutting Kate.
I can see cutting Kate just because he's double the price of Cannonball.
Yeah.
All right,
All
can I
right.
make an argument for number
And
1?
Ravona's a 2. We got 4. Would have 5 2s in our top 11, top 10.
Watch where the game turns these days, right? Turn 2. Are you
Yeah.
gonna win?
I
you
want to
play
make
Scream?
an argument for number 1.
Yeah.
My argument is Arishem. If you
No.
could own one card in the game,
Scream.
one high series card, Arishem just it can let you play everything.
All right.
You
Ready?
could fill it with junk.
Ready? Kingpin, Scream, Craven, Spider-Man, Polaris, Stegron, Magneto, Arrow or Heimdall, whatever. Pick your poison. Miles Morales, Shang-Chi. That is a deck that you could win at the top of the Infinite Leaderboard with. And I named Scream and 10 other, I didn't count, Series 3 or lower cards. You cannot say that about any other card on Marvel's side.
If we are going off of like what a new player can get into first, I'd probably say Scream, but I think Sam Wilson, like in terms of power, is above and beyond like everything on this list.
I could see Sam being better than Scream, but I think if you're new or if you're trying to build a collection, that there's a difference. Right? Like I could see you buying Scream and then buying Sam and being like, that goes in my Scream deck. But there is no Scream deck if you don't have Scream.
I think it's tough to rank these because it's going to depend a lot on what you want to do. Is like, do you want to build a deck or do you want to have cards that go into lots of decks? And if you want to build a deck, get Scream. If you want to get a card that will play in a lot of decks, get Sam.
I think you need a deck to start with. Like it's really hard to build good stuff when most of the good stuff is high series. So you don't have them.
Autofill button, and you have a deck to start with, and you put Sam in, and you're good to go.
The autofill does not work. Is that how you make your decks? The secret to Splat is here. We know where all these decks come from.
No, I changed one card. It's my deck now.
Where? All right. Scream or Sam? Splat, say one.
I would put Scream 1.
Okay. Heart is Sam, and I'm Scream. Gunny?
I think Scream. If you're
Okay.
trying to make a meta deck to beat people, to climb faster.
All right. So now I would have Galacta in 3. Does anyone want to argue that anything should be above Galacta? Because Galacta gets you basically 2 Surfer.
I still think Airshim's up there, man. Like, Airshim's just such a fun, powerful card if you're a new player. I would put Airshim on the top of this list. Because I think if you were going to buy one card just to experience the game with, Airshim is so great for a new player. It's like Loki used to be.
Problem is Airshim now, like if you buy Airshim, then you like have to buy other Airshim cards. And
You
like
don't, though.
there's a lot.
I think you're saying that from your experience. Like if you just have cards,
I just don't think it's good if you don't have good cards
it
with
just builds itself. I'm okay being wrong, but I'm just saying, like, I think as a new player, Airshim is so user friendly. You don't have to do anything for it. You just play good cards and Airshim, and you cheat at the game.
All right, so right now it's Galacta or Airshim in the 3 spot. Does anyone else have anything else they'd like to put up for the 3 spot?
No.
Or if you guys think Airshim is below Galacta, that's fine too.
Oh, that's what we're gonna find out. Splat, Airshim or Galacta?
I think Airshim's weird because, like Gunny's argument of you get to try a lot of stuff as a new player is completely valid. But there's also a lot of Airshim hatred. Probably PTSD from when Airshim was just a meta tyrant for a month. I still think Galacta, though. I think even outside Surfer, Galacta is good.
Sure.
Art?
Not biased at all. I'm choosing Galacta.
Okay.
Yeah, I think it's self-explanatory.
So are we comfortable? Does anyone want to argue against Airshim at 4? I'm fine with Airshim at 4.
Looking at this,
For a new player, I could see that.
So
Yeah.
I also think our top 3 just happen to be the 3 best cards in Marvel Snap right now. Like, I don't know if I would have them in this order, but I think that, like, Scream, Sam, and Galacta are the 3 best cards in the game. Period.
Sounds about right.
Right? Like, I don't know what's as strong as them. I do think that Sam is, like... Not Sam. Iron Patriot is still probably in the top 10 if we're just doing strongest cards. But I think I don't think you need Iron Patriot here.
I don't think Iron Patriot's in the top 10, probably.
Really? I think it might be on the strongest. All right. For number 5, is there a world where it might be Wiccan?
I don't think so. I actually think Victoria Hand's in the right spot. All the double dino lovers when you're first playing, like Victoria Hand is so cool.
I don't think Wiccan's top 10. The decks are also really expensive. And because when you're running Wiccan, it's basically good piles, and good piles come down to play a lot of Series 5 cards most of the time.
But you can just do tech, right? Like, it's good pile or tech. Like, you make it be like Juggernaut, Shang, Enchantress, and like Magneto. You'll be fine.
My knowledge of series is lacking. Am I wrong in thinking, like, the bulk of the cards that Riverland works with are low series cards? Like,
No, you're right.
Iron Man, Mystique, Task is low series, right?
Task is Series 3.
Series 3.
I think other than Sage.
Everything negative. Sage and Gore.
Yeah.
Yeah, I
The
could see
2 cards I got rid of, but
yeah, I could see Ravonna being 5. I don't hate that. Again, because now you can buy Ravonna and Cannonball, right? For the is our Victoria Hand, Red Guardian, Wiccan, or Frigga or Victor? Did I say Victoria Hand? Whatever. Are they better than getting Ravonna and Cannonball? Is
I would say
any
no.
one card better than the 2? Because I could see Ravonna and Cannonball just being 5-6 by being the best on the series 4
That's
list.
just good value. Yeah, I think both Ravonna and Cannonball are strong.
I could see that because Clog's not that expensive, I don't think either.
No, there's nothing in it unless you want to run like a Red Hulk, and you're not required to. I don't know how to spell Renslayer. Oh, there you go. And Riddle Renslayer and Cannonball are going to be here because half priceness. I'd still probably rather have I'd still probably rather have Scream, Sam, Galact, and Erisham over Ronin Cannonball, even if I could get the 2 instead. You know what I mean? I think they're strong enough. And I think there's a clear delineation there. All right. So now we need to order Victoria Hand, Red Guardian, Wiccan, and Frigga. Let's do it this way. Which card is in last place for everyone? Splat?
Red Guardian.
Oh, Gunny,
Sorry.
Red Guardian. Go ahead.
Wiccan or Red Guardian for me.
Hart?
Oh, I think the order is basically how I would put it, because I feel like Frigga's very expensive compared to the rest of them. Like, yeah, Frigga does a lot, but all her decks run like 4 to 5, Series 5.
Okay. So Splat, you said what card? Sorry, you said.
I said Red Guardian or Wiccan would be my 2 choices for last.
Okay, so
I was gonna
have Frigga. So now once more we are split between Red Guardian and Frigga. Are we okay with those being the bottom 2 then?
Yeah, that's one.
Yeah.
And Wiccan goes to 8 by sheer process of elimination, right? Because that's the other card that was mentioned. Victoria Hand above Wiccan. We okay with that?
Yes. My argument against Red Guardian is he is very meta dependent.
Mhm.
Like I want to say like 2 weeks ago, he wasn't good. Like people weren't using him. And he came back and he's good again. But he's not like a consistently must-have card index.
I could see that.
When he's good, he's very, very good. But I've never been like, and then I spent 6K tokens on him when I didn't have him, because when he was good, he was astounding. But
Well, I mean, you're talking to like, there's a big difference between how we play and how a new player is going to play, right? So best in slot matters to us, whereas Juggernaut can also win games.
Sure, you can, and I think that also kind of is the other side of what I wanted to say is, he doesn't as a new player, like I want to try a new deck. I want to make a new deck that I couldn't do before. Wiccan's a whole new archetype. Frigga gives you a few new archetypes that you couldn't play. Red Guardian is like, you can sub him out in terms of what aspects of the game you get access to by having these cards.
So for late game, Red Guardian's really hurt by Sam Wilson. A lot of what holds that card back is Sam Wilson's presence, right?
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't really care about Red Guardian or Frigga.
My argument against Red Guardian being that low is Red Guardian plays a very unique role that no other card really does, and he is a card specifically meant to bully the 2-cost scalers. And as you can see, 2-cost scalers are very good, and they're very often very good. Like half the list.
Yeah.
Right. Until there's a shield in front of Scream, and then Red Guardian can't hit Scream, and you throw your phone on the ground.
But that's Sam being
what
Sam.
else can hit Scream? Shadow King. Luke.
Lady Deathstrike.
Very
so
unlikely.
long as no one has moved by turn 5.
Very unlikely. Very likely.
What is high series in a Doom 2099 deck?
Nothing, because they're bad. The deck just doesn't exist anymore. They succeeded in nerfing it to the ground.
Yeah, that happens when you nerf a decent card twice for no reason.
Yeah. Well, there's a reason. It was ridiculously played. It just wasn't that good.
Here's what beats Scream. Shadow King.
Yeah. I had to play against a Shadow King with the Scream deck. I just put my scalers in different lanes. I had one lane that had Scream, and then one lane that had Sam, and one lane that had Craven. It was fine.
You monster.
It's just fine. And I was like, all right, once I know you have Shadow King, right? Like, if I know your deck, we're fine.
Yeah.
I don't know. All right, Splat, say Red Guardian or Frigga for 9th place.
For 9th place?
Mm-hmm. Which is better?
Frigga.
Okay. Art.
Red Guardian.
Gunny.
Red Guardian.
Okay, Red Guardian wins because I don't actually have any preference. I don't actually give a shit. I think they're almost exactly even in totally different ways. I do think Frigga is fairly heavily underrated. Just like copying demons and shit is really, really strong. Like I could see like copying a Wolfsbane being really strong for a lower level player. I also think we might be sleeping on Wolfsbane a little bit, but that's neither here nor there. All right, we have our list
Can I
of
pull
10
something
cards.
out?
Go ahead.
Can
Yeah?
I pull something out before we finish? All right,
Mhm.
I'm just looking over data right now.
Take
pool
that for
three-
data.
Yeah, pool 3 players. Really, like around the collection level where people will probably be focusing on this is Destroy having a 60% win rate, and you can make a Destroy deck with X23 and Null. It's 6,000 tokens to make.
No,
a deck,
Null
much
is
like
Series
String.
3. Null is Series 3.
Oh, well, there you go. So for 3,000 tokens, you get to make a Destroy deck. I think X23 has to be on here.
I think in 3 months, yes. I think that it's really hard for me to imagine that anyone who's watching this has been playing for less than 1 month. Because literally 1 month ago, they stuck her in your inbox and said, you now have this card.
Okay.
You know what I mean? Like, they just gave it to us.
Sure.
A lot of the chat has asked about Moonstone. Is there any argument for Moon? Oh, sorry, go ahead.
Can we put a 11 down there saying if you don't have?
Sure.
But does anybody disagree that like X23 being the only high series card you need, like making Destroy be a thing, is pretty awesome?
I mean, Nico, but yes.
You don't need Nico though. You don't have to have it. I'm looking at the deck list. It's not playing it for the 60% win rate.
Okay. Ooh, someone in chat didn't get her for free. I'm very curious why. All right, people have asked about Moonstone. Does anyone have anything they'd like to say about Moonstone? And why she didn't make it? Because it's really hard to be one of the 10 best. Is basically my argument.
I mean, I really like Moonstone, but I also like it's a very high rolly type of list generally run with her.
Bro, the way I view Moonstone, a lot of these cards have value in of themselves, or they like create an archetype. Moonstone helps the archetype, but there's also a problem with Moonstone where she's very predictable, and there are a lot of ways to disrupt the Moonstone. Off the top of my head, any player can just Juggernaut her, and like, you Juggernaut that lane, whatever Moonstone they were playing last turn, probably a Mystique after the Iron Man. It's just, their entire play is dead. And
don't give away
pretty much
my
know
whole
what's going
game
into
plan. Heart. I'm definitely not playing Mystique after Iron Man. Everybody that's gonna play me.
Ongoing is very popular in early series, so I feel like you might even see more Enchantress in early series than you would later.
Well, yeah, if you don't have a lot of good cards, one of the ways you get around not having a lot of good cards is playing 10 cards.
I think if you get Ravonna, getting Moonstone makes more sense, but you have to get Ravonna first.
Yeah, or Victoria Hand. Like, if you get, like, Ravonna or Victoria Hand, then all of a sudden now we're cooking, right? But if you don't, then I think Misery is a sleeper for, like, people aren't going to really see it here. But Misery goes in almost as many things as Frigga.
Yeah.
All right. Our 11. Tennish. If you don't have X23, X23 can let you play Destroy. Destroy is boring, but hey, if you like it, have fun. In the number 10 slot is Frigga, on the strength of it goes in about a million different decks and is utterly irreplaceable everywhere it goes. In the number 9 spot is Red Guardian. For me, the reason I'm so happy with Red Guardian is that not only is it an extremely powerful late game card, if you are earlier in your collection level, having access to tech cards is a great way to win games that would otherwise be unwinnable. Number 8 is Wiccan, because Wiccan gives you access to basically the same idea as a Sarah deck. It gives you like a tech deck, but you can run some more expensive stuff. It changes your curve. It also teaches you a fair amount about the game and how to play. Snap. Number 7 is the first of our 2-cost scalers. It is Victoria Hand. Victoria Hand gives you access to a deck. You probably already have a Double Dino deck. You can stick Victoria Hand in there, and you are basically good to go. There are multiple ways to build it. There are multiple paths you can take forward. Number 6 is Cannonball, who would not be this high, except that he's the best, basically, high-cost Series 4 card. And you can buy 2 Series 4 cards. Remember that this is for Snap Packs. So this is a card that you can get at half price. Getting Cannonball in another series, great Series 4 card, is better than getting any one Series 5 card. 2 cards are generally better than 1. If they are like Cannonball, can give you access to multiple things. Cannonball also goes really well with Scream and Junk. Number 5 is Ravonna. Ravonna gives you access to some ongoing stuff that you can do with Iron Man, that you can do with with Mystique, but Ravonna also gives you access to a Mr. Negative deck. It's really hard to build Mr. Negative without at least Ravonna Renslayer. Also Series 4, same concept as Cannonball. Like Ravonna plus Cannonball is better than Victoria Hand and anything below, but not better than anything above, is our argument. Number 4 is Arishem because it lets you try out every card in the game. So does the Triskelion, but then you have to wait. So just play Arishem and you have it. Number 3 is Galacta. It goes in Surfer. It's just generically the best way to make your cards scale in Marvel Snap. It's one of the only targeted scaling cards. In Surfer decks, it's fairly often just better than Surfer. It's one of the best cards. Number 2 is Sam Wilson, probably the strongest card in the game. A card that you can put in literally any deck. It goes in almost everything, but it doesn't give you a deck to play, which put it just behind the number 1 card, Scream, who is not only one of the it's at worst one of the top 3 strongest cards in Marvel Snap, but it also gives you a deck that you don't need anything high series to play at a high level besides Scream. All good? And that's our main topic. Let us.
Can I do a PSA before we move on?
Sure.
My PSA is if you are new and you have a lot of unknown cards, please do not participate in the Snap Pack system.
Oh,
Buy
yeah, that's important.
a few cards that you want, get yourself a deck, and then if you'd like to save money by using the Snap Pack system, because I imagine it's also very fun, right? Then use your Snap Packs. But make sure you just like target a few cards, get yourself a very playable deck, and then after that, do whatever you please. But I think
to add on to that,
go ahead.
I would probably prioritize what you would consider like high value cards, like specific. If you want to play a specific deck, don't gamble on the pack. Just get the card. It's not that much more expensive.
I think Snap Packs are for people who are either complete or really, really close. If you are starting out, unless you're just going to spend money and try and buy everything, just ignore them. They don't matter to you. They might as well not exist. All right. Let us get to our next section. Every week we do a variant of the week. This week it's Brood because it sure feels like Surfer week with Infinity Ultron coming out and Surfer being an S tier deck, and one of our guests being one of the 2 Surfer mains I know in Marvel Snap. I know 2 Scream mains too, though, so it's head and head, it's neck and neck. So our variant of the week is going to be Brood. Let's start with the variant that 2 people picked. One was not me, despite it being Dan Hip. Splat, why'd you like the Hip?
I just like the art on it. I think it looks cool. I've been using that since like the game came out, and I haven't had a good reason to switch. I got a nice split on it. Got it inked up, and yeah, I dig it.
Art?
For me, Brood like a cockroach. That's what he looks like to me. So I'm like, I don't want a realistic cockroach on my screen. So I like the Dan Hip like cartoony style because it's like the most pleasant to look at compared to all the realistic cockroaches.
Fair. I don't think Gunny's pick looks like a cockroach. This is the Jacinto, I believe.
Yeah, the Jacinto. I think the pose on it looks really awesome. It's actually like got a lot of action to it. It's scary. Like it's a really cool card. And specifically why I chose this one is it just gives me fond memories. I played a lot of Warhammer 40k in high school with my brother. He loved Tyranids, and this reminds me of a Tyranid. So for one thing, the art is beautiful. I like it, and it also gives me a little bit of nostalgic value.
I picked the Brew variant. Brew should be his own card. Sorry, I'm replying to chat. Okay, so Brew should just be its own card. Brew is his own character. It's not just a random Brood with random Broodlings. Brew is from a really, really fun X-Men run. I believe it's Wolverine in the X-Men, which was very fun. And he's just wearing a little tuxedo, and it's adorable that this like weird cockroach is wearing a tuxedo. I love the Dan Hip, but I have taken to using Mr. Tuxie Brood, and then I run as many like Hellfire-y variants with it as possible, because now everyone's dressed up. I have a little Silver Surfer party. Now we need a Tux Surfer.
Oh yeah, there you go.
We need
Keep
a
it classy.
fashion Brood.
Yeah, high fashion Brood, baby. All right. Splat, why should our friends follow you?
It's have to be a hard sell. If you would like to watch someone lose cubes playing bad decks, I am the stream
Wow,
for
this is
you.
a sales pitch. All right.
I think I play decks generally that you won't see elsewhere. I think I'm allergic to super hard meta decks. And that's all I got. I'm a terrible salesman.
Yeah, not your best pitch. All right, so the reason I follow Splat outside I like him and we talk a lot is that I so I spend a lot of my time really steeped in the like high infinite meta game and learning what the best decks are and figuring out all that stuff. I go watch Splat and I watched the craziest combo bullshit happen. There's a word for that in Magic that I bet you Gunny knows. Where someone who just wants to watch all the fireworks happen instead of like trying to necessarily win the game. Like it doesn't matter if you win or lose as long as the stupid combo goes crazy. Splat sent me like 5 screenshots once of this like game he won, but they played a Cosmo that ruined his stupid giant Galactus combo, and he was very frustrated.
Yes. I was very frustrated
despite winning the game. There's a word for that in Magic, and I don't remember what it is. Gunny, do you know?
I believe it's a Timmy.
Is that Timmy? Okay, because I don't remember the names for Magic. We had a name for it in Thrones, where like that was a Shaga.
Do you want me to explain the Galactus combo?
Yeah, that's
okay.
the sales pitch. There we go.
There's a sales pitch.
It's a Johnny. Johnny is
Johnny.
It's a Johnny. Okay. The Galactus combo that I still have yet. I've failed many times to do this. Is you get a Shuri, you kill the Shuri, you have magic out. On 6, you Phoenix Force the dead Shuri onto a symbiote, merge the symbiote, so you have a double Shuri proc in that lane. And then on 7, you move the Phoenix Force symbiote Spider-Man Shuri off the lane, and you play your 24 power Galactus and win. That's the play.
So my favorite version of the Splat decks are the ones that are doing sort of silly stuff like that, but they also just randomly run, because they're running Symbiote Spider-Man, they also have this entire lower end that's running like Human Torch shenanigans. So just once in a while, you also get like a 50 power Human Torch in a lane, because like you're just like, all right, I'm going to Galacta the Human Torch to then hit it with Symbiote Spider-Man to then pull it with Ghost Spider. And then, of course, you have Black Swan to do that for free. That's the kind that stuff is the reason you watch Splat. Plus,
that's my jam.
There you go. Please do follow Splat. You 1,000% should. Great stream. All right, Hart. Why should people follow you?
Well, if you're looking to improve, I think I do a good job at explaining my thought process throughout the game. Like starting from like turn 2, usually I'll explain what I'm thinking, what I'm considering their deck, what might be in their hand, and then as the turns go on, I kind of like verbalize my assumptions that I'm making, so you can kind of follow along with the plays I'm making. And especially because it's at a very high level of infinite, it's like if you can kind of through osmosis like start to pick up like some ways of making assumptions or like presumptions based off what they're playing, I think it's a very good method to improve by watching good players and specifically following how they think through their plays.
A lot of good players don't do that, right? Like I follow a lot of high infinite people, and they just sort of they've made it sort of, what's the word I'm looking for? It's not a heuristic, but I'm going with heuristic, where like they don't like know why they're making the choices. It just sort of happens now, and they just sort of make the plays, and they're trying to be entertaining. I'm going to use an example of one of my favorite streamers. This is not in any way an insult because he's amazing, but Husky is usually joking around and having a good time with chat while making very high level plays, right? There's not like a ton of explanation. You're not exactly understanding how and why he's doing it. Hart gives you an amazing look at the how and why of all these moves, but in addition to that how and why, you also get to watch it for someone not who's just at high infinite, but who's at high infinite with a lower collection level, who's at infinite while missing a bunch of cards and making a bunch of choices based on that. And there's a lot of the community, I know a lot of my community is in that same position. And like you'll not only learn how to make better plays, but how to build better decks, how to look at the meta in a critical way. It's really high level stuff. It's great. He's one of my favorite new streamers in the game, and you should 1,000% go follow him, please. All right. All that done. It's time for me to read a whole bunch of names really fast. Everybody ready? Patreon.com/SnapJudgments is how you support us. If you want the $10 tier, it comes with me reading your name fast at the end of the video. All good? This is the right one, right? Yes, good. All right, so first off, thank you to our patrons of the month, Fat Dick, Happy Lisa, Metature, Burnett, Eric Ellis, LEB, Inc., Iron Frostman, Hotel Nevedite, Think Poker, Prime, Brian, Ryan Burke, Ryan Wood, Characters League, Corey Ray, Kazushi, Archangel 3K, Black Tyler, Perfrost, The Goat Seeker, Code, Hollowed, Only Fox, Synth, Absolute Shannon, Nightmare, Dirty Casual, Mr. Fruffle, Cable, Ginger Prime, Philip Rakovich, Haplo, Kenny Loggers of the James Jones, The Biz, Black Jeebus, 23 XOC, Skippy G, Jessica Gamble, Mr. Slush Death, The King of Bros, The Great Kazoo, Werewolf, Kevsey Hoda, Ludicrous, Clam, Colonel Forbin, Bricks to Click, Rob Zimmerman, M. Holland, David G. Wingfield, Stephen Brown, Coffin, Just H. Martin, Jason B., Mr. Greg Starry, and Matt V, Renman, Corwin, John Q, and Jimmy Q. Yes, out 8 Sage, One Big Mad Milkman for Reals, Cactus Jack, Reapster, BG, Quid Pro Joe, Snap Decisions, Joe Models, Met Supreme, Boom, Bot, Green Goblin, Unit, Bot, Flan 56, The Fuzz, Spectrum Mix, Hoot, Oculars, Matt H, DJ Mike Hedging, No Freaking Flex, Nick the Greek Geek, Sodrex, The King, Hannah, Demet Falcon, Fothler, Newman, Jonesy, Two Ties, The Great Lord Evs, The Pirate King, Tucker, Who's a New Dad, Congratulations, Pirate King, and of course, Gunny T, where the T stands for Gunny.
Thank you so much for coming out and watching us. All of our Twitch watchers, thank you so much. And thank you for listening to another wonderful edition of Snap Judgments. And thank you, too, for coming on the podcast this week, Splat and Heart of the Cards.
Thank you for having us.
It was a pleasure.
Splaticus on Twitch, Heart of the Cards, Snap on Twitch. Peace and love, everybody.